And now for something completely different.
Multiple felon Condor Calabasas here for something a little bit different. I'm asking you the question GameSpot is terrified to ask. How much would you pay for a PS5 Pro? Alright, let's get into it. I got some quality content for you today. Wow.
I wrote about $500, £480.
Okay.
Alright. So they play a little game here. Uh it's kind of weird how they do it. They tell them what the price of the Xbox Series X is right now, which is £800, or I think $800. No, it's $800. I don't know how many pounds it is. I think it's $800. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, it's $800. I don't know how many pounds it is. So it's $800. They tell them how much money the console is, and then they play this game where they write down how much they think the console should be worth, and then they reveal or whatever. Kurt doesn't plays a joke here. He's a rabble rouser. He's a comedian. He's a funny guy. Genuinely, I like him. He's a good guy. But yeah, he doesn't really answer the question. She answers, as you can see there, $500 is what she thinks the Xbox Series X should be worth. How much should cost. And throughout this entire video, at no point do they ever actually talk about how much the PS5 should cost. Anyways, just to get that out of the way first, $500 is $600 Canadian, and from this point forward, I'm going to be talking about Canadian dollar amount. So yeah, so that's about. So she's saying Xbox, for context, Xbox Series X, she'd pay $600 Canadian for it, which whether or not you think is fair or not fair, I think is completely irrelevant. So I'm not even gonna comment on it. All right, so for this video, I'm going to do this wild, crazy thing where I do actual journalism, and I'm going to look up actual facts here. It's going to be some crazy stuff. I'm going to get wild. So it's like stuff that like almost no gaming journalists, except for Game Informer, will do. It's like this weirdly like super upsetting thing to actually like do research and like make yourself look like you aren't a total moron or something. But yeah, that's it's going to be exciting. So it's going to be very unlike what you see with most gaming journalism.
But then again, you kind of get boned a little bit because unless you get the terabyte version, you have to buy one of those memory cards.
So you're taking this.
All right. This isn't like this is just like a weird thing to say to me, or for her to say, in my opinion. Well, it kind of depends. Like, this is very subjective. Like, whether or not you need a memory card kind of depends on like what kind of games you're playing. Like, if you're just playing like single player games, you're probably not going to need a memory card. But I think that's like irrelevant going forward. So in the context here, you're screwed unless you got like 2 terabytes. Unless you get like the full features of the console, of the Xbox console is what we're talking about here. You're screwed.
As we get further along, just because, historically they've made losses on consoles, the money and the value.
All right. Again, they're talking about Xbox here. The thing that's embarrassing about this comment is it is common knowledge for anyone who like even slightly has their pulse on the industry that consoles are sold at a loss. And it's typically if the console itself ever makes a profit, it typically happens like way late into the console's life cycle, if that happens. It's assumed, it's believed, we don't know, but it's believed that the PS5 Pro almost certainly is being sold at a loss and will almost certainly continue to sell at a loss for who knows how long. It's kind of weird to mention Xbox specifically because Nintendo with the Wii U and the 3DS are easily the top two examples that most people would think of when it comes to consoles that were known for selling at a serious loss. Like, yeah, 3DS, that 3D technology was like stupid expensive, way more expensive than a lot of people realize, and the Wii U just failed miserably in like basically every way. Wasn't necessarily a bad console. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it just like failed big time. So they couldn't really. It didn't matter that they reduced the price, you know. Anyway, so all this is like to point out Xbox specifically is just like kind of baffling for a gaming journalist to do. Like, it's commonly known that Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, they make a lot of that money back through their PlayStation Plus, through the Nintendo Online service, through like things like that. Their exclusives, their subscriptions, their whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that was like a wicked stupid thing to say, and although it isn't super relevant for the points I'm going to be making in this video, I had to point that out.
Isn't like I don't even know how much a PS5 Pro is at this point.
Me neither. I didn't want.
This shit makes me cringe so hard. Like, you're a journalist, you're talking about the subject of console cost. Why on earth? And you're talking about how like overpriced it is. Why are you not mentioning the PS5 Pro? Like, that genuinely, this is insanity. And I'm gonna prove that what I just said is a fact. It is insane to suggest this. To like even make this a subject on Xbox whatsoever. The idea of an overpriced console and PS5 Pro isn't the first thing that you bring up as an example of that is insanity. So since she doesn't know how much it costs, let's go over what the costs are. So again, we're talking Canadian here. They said it was $800 Canadian, or sorry, American they were referring to. As you can see here, oh, you can't, can you not see my, I'm going to pause this. All right, well, I don't know why it's not capturing my cursor, but whatever. It doesn't matter. You can see what I'm highlighting here. So, yeah, the 2 terabyte, this is the Xbox that you're going to want, the best of the best Xbox. That one's $879. 1 terabyte, this isn't relevant, but so like $80 more than you'd spend in the US. Alright, PS5 Pro, people are probably going to ask why I'm going to Amazon to check for the PS5 Pro when I went on Xbox.com. If you click PS5 Pro on the PlayStation website buy now, this is what happens, okay? So obviously, I'm going to pick Amazon.com. That's where I would buy it personally, so that's what I'm going to pick. So this is, holy shit, that doesn't seem right. Okay, that is just the PlayStation 5, the disc version with an added controller, so that's 2 controllers total. And that seems like a pretty nice deal, I'd say. I'd say that's a good deal. So, yeah. This is the PS5 Pro. This is Canadian. This is what PlayStation recommends. This is from, like, this is the console. It's not like I've like done some kind of manipulative crap here where I've tried to find like the most expensive PS5 Pro. This is what you're looking at. This is like the #1 most popular option here. And you can also, this is from literally PlayStation. You can't really see what I'm highlighting because my mouse isn't captured, even though it should be. I don't know why. But yeah, the digital and the disc, again, I would call those fair deals, but the PS5 Pro, that is absurd. That is $959, and this is without a disc, okay? If you want this other stuff that, as you can see, people are bundling with it, you're looking at 1,100 Canadian, as opposed to 880. And that is Xbox, you can put it vertically, and Xbox has the disc tray with this version. Disc tray, put it vertically. See it right there. Alright. So the disc tray, $39. That one's $99. It says you could bundle all three and basically get this thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so that is $1,100 to get an equivalent PlayStation 5 Pro. And again, like Lucy was saying earlier, if you want the full fat experience, you don't want a 1 terabyte Xbox. So if you don't want a 1 terabyte Xbox, you sure as shit do not want a PlayStation 5 without the disc tray. And as for people can laugh at the vertical shit, that's been a part of PlayStation for who knows how long, and the fact that they didn't just include that is pathetic. And the fact that people aren't more pissed about that is baffling to me. So yeah, you got your $39 thing that brings it to, that's definitely $1,000 right there. So that's $1,000 console. And if you want to play discs, which I don't really get why you wouldn't, a lot of people like buying super cheap discs. So yeah, that's $1,100 for this console, this PS5 Pro. But then the question becomes, what do you actually get for the PS5 Pro?
PSSR unfortunately does not work well at all with this title, producing an artifact-ridden image. Expect to see a constant peppering of coarse noise, with pulsing, strobing artifacts in areas with occluders like grass or debris.
So PSSR, which is PS5 Pro's upscaler, is literally the worst upscaling technology. Again, this is the $1,100 console, and upscaling technology that's supposed to make it so good sucks.
PS5 Pro, but the problem is that performance at 60 FPS struggles, and in fact, in this configuration, PS5 Pro can run at a lower frame rate than base PS5.
The $1,100 console runs worse than the cheaper, weaker base version. That's wild.
Enjoys a performance lead over both PS5 machines across the early swamp area and a later bridge section, each of which run closer to the 60 FPS mark. The area by...
So again, not only is the PS5 Pro beat by the weaker console, its own weaker console, but it's also beat by the Xbox Series X. So we're talking about, the subject is overpriced consoles and how much you would pay for this PS5 Pro. It's this picture is getting worse and worse.
PS5 Pro, it's a bit worse, unfortunately. So you can see that in this walk through the forest area where the Pro is kind of running a little bit behind the base PS5.
So, it's not a night and day difference, but it doesn't look better. It doesn't look better. It doesn't run better. What's the point? This is $1,100 for this console, and it's being stomped on by a PS5, a base PS5.
that needs fixing. The flickering reflections and shimmering shadows are impossible to ignore here, and the base PS5 ends up pushing a better picture.
Again, it's crazy that GameSpot puts out a video talking specifically about how overpriced the Series X is when you have this. When you have this entire history of PlayStation 5 just shitting the bed. And the thing that I would like to make clear is the problem isn't the console itself. It seems like a fine console. It's obviously way overpriced, which the price wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't for the fact that Sony is forcing this weird performance profile that obviously the console can't handle. It's they don't understand anything about performance, and it's baffling. And then you have the media, giantbomb.com talking about how they like all pre-ordered it before it came out, and it's like that's embarrassing, dude. If you're a gaming journalist, you shouldn't be buying a console that's a joke like that. Like, and I just want to be very clear, there is definitely the thing that's so funny about this video and all my bitching about this PS5 Pro is that I'm literally the kind of person that would buy this console because it is perfect console for PvP gaming. And a lot of people will really undersell this. A lot of people will really not really underestimate how huge this is. But like a game like, you know, Valorant or whatever, any kind of game where there's a bunch of chaos going on, there's explosions, and that performance dips, even for a little bit, that latency difference, those fractions of a second, the PS5 Pro is going to have a huge advantage there. And to me, that can't be understated. So, I mean, even with all these ridiculous issues that should be fixed, like this should not be a problem to fix all of this. It's still, I would still recommend and say it's worth the money if you're like a console PvP fanatic. If that's like your thing, if you love that stuff, then yeah, 100%. I think you should actually consider, at the very least, consider getting the PS5 Pro. All right, now we're going on a little bit of a detour here. Here's the last point I want to make. This jackass posted this video and just gave me such extreme secondhand embarrassment that I have to comment on it now.
They were always about management, and when you look at
this is Bungie. And they're just talking about how much Bungie is screwed up, and Bungie's like owned by PlayStation now, I'm pretty sure.
They were always about management, and when you look at some of the other big games, yeah, Sony does seem to have a better handle on what a quality video game is, you know, for all their faults, than say Microsoft does. It seems the failure of...
This is why I hate Sony fanboys and fangirls, whatever. That are in every single part of the gaming media. If it was Xbox who made Concord, it'd be used as proof of Xbox being a terrible, incompetent company, how they're all like, just like they have no idea what they're doing in the gaming industry and they need to just get out. But because, and only because, it's PlayStation, and it'd be the opposite if it was Nintendo too. People would actually be reasonable if it was Nintendo. If it was any PC company, no PC company would get away with this. Blizzard would not get away with making Concord in this way. But because it's PlayStation, there's always this extremely diluted sugarcoating and defense over this company. It's goddamn embarrassing, dude. If Sony thought Concord was good enough that they released it, then obviously they have the single worst handle on what a quality video game is, objectively speaking. This, like, it blows my mind. Like,
of the other big games, yeah, Sony does seem to have a better handle on what a quality video game is, you know, for all their faults, than...
Like, what kind of diluted comment is that, bro? And you, like... And then he immediately cuts to, like, Concord. Like, that is proof of the opposite. And this is, like, one of those things that I just, like, despise about the gaming industry as a whole is, and the fact, and this, like, almost no one ever talks about that. This is, and it's the fact that gaming, how should I put this? Sony fanboys are by far the worst and the most toxic fanboys in the industry by a wide margin. Unlike Xbox, unlike Nintendo, unlike any PC company, if there's like a problem or an issue, whenever there's an issue with Sony games, you have to tiptoe around it. No gaming, and you'll notice this, look out for this, you'll notice this. No gaming journalist is allowed to just criticize Sony in a way that normal people would. You gotta sugarcoat it. They gotta tiptoe around it. They're walking on eggshells. and I love it. You'll notice they always have to bring up how Xbox has fucked up something, which I couldn't give a fuck less about, but it's just hilarious how they, no matter what, even if it's not even relevant, even if Xbox isn't in the subject whatsoever, it's always like, well, Sony screwed this up, but oh yeah, but Xbox also screwed up some stuff too, so it's not just Sony screwing up. It's like this weird kind of like constant sugarcoating. Like we have to like pander to these fucking losers and these fucking pussies. It's a fucking embarrassment, dude. Like we need to, as the industry, like gaming journalists need to talk about how unhinged these fucking fanboy losers are. And dudes like this Belluar News or whatever the stupid crap his fucking name is, really, need to stop pandering to these fucking losers. Like, say it like it is, dude. Say it like you would if they were Xbox. Like, don't be a weird ass. Like, it's a fucking embarrassment to me. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Anyways, like, I think, like, the one thing you should take away is you have GameStop. My main point here is you have GameSpot, not GameStop. GameSpot posting a video where they talk about an overpriced console, and they specifically talk about the Series X, which is fine, but not only do they not know how much the PS5 Pro costs, they don't even bring it up beyond that. It's just, oh, I don't know how much it costs, and they move on. Think about that. The $1,100 console that is outperformed by the PS5 and the Series X. That wasn't even brought up in this video. Anyways, that's it. That all made me cringe. That was about some of the most embarrassing shit I've seen in some time. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.